back another album review. Today's review is on Chef Aid, the South Park album. This was the very first South Park album. It was made to promote the show. The majority of the songs were produced by Rick Rubin, who was also credited as an executive producer, along with Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and Larry Lieberman. Everyone knows that Trey and Matt are the creators of the show and voice a lot of the characters. The mixing was done by Rick Rubin and Dave Sardy. The editor was Paul Foley. The mastering was done by Stephen Markison, meaning that's two albums I reviewed back-to-back that he mastered. The album was released on November 24th, 1998 on American Recordings and Columbia Records, and it was released shortly after the premiere of the episode Chef Aid. That was during Season 2 of the show, and back when the show was relatively new. The album was presented as a concert with the character Chef as the host. Before I go any further, I need to mention that there are actually three versions of this album that were made. The first of which is the clean version, which is self-explanatory. The second is the explicit version, which is only partially censored, meaning the term explicit is a misnomer. The final version is the extreme edition, which is completely uncensored and is the version that I have. Now let's talk about the songs. Now the album's intro is South Park Theme by Primus. Of course they had to start with this song because Primus made the show's theme song, and Les Claypool is the show's composer. As an added bonus, the song includes the fart at the very end. The next track is Nowhere Left to Run, Vapor Trail by The Crystal Method with Ozzy Osbourne, DMX, Old Dirty Bastard, and Fuzzbubble. What's funny is that on the show, Ozzy bit Kenny's head off, referencing the time when Ozzy bit the head off a bat. That incident is the reason why every bat furry is scared of Ozzy. This is also my favorite song on the album. After that is Chocolate Salty Balls by Chef. The song was released as a single on December 1st, 1998, and is a reference to the episode Chef's Chocolate Salty Balls. Next up is Brad Logan by Rancid. My introduction to Rancid was through Beavis and Butthead, and it's cool that they were featured on this album. This is also one of my favorite songs on the album. Up next is Come Sail Away by Eric Cartman. It's basically Cartman singing a cover of the song by Styx, and it's pretty damn funny. Personally, I think it's even better than the original version. That's followed by Kenny's Dead by Master P. Up until Season 6, there was a recurring joke of Kenny dying in nearly every episode. In Season 7 going forward, he doesn't die as often. Right after that is Simultaneous by Chef. The song is a reference to the episode Summer Sucks, which is how I always felt about summer due to my intolerance for the heat. We followed up with Will They Die For You by Mace, Puffy, Lil' Kim, and System of a Down. System of a Down is the artist who I'm most familiar with, since their self-titled debut album was also released in '98 on the same label. The track after that is Hot Lava by Perry Farrell and DVDA. DVDA is actually Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And they even had Josh Freese on drums. I'm most familiar with Perry since he was the frontman for Jane's Addiction, which I discovered from watching Beavis and Butthead. The track that comes next is Bubble Goose by Wyclef Jean. It even features Stan, Kyle, Carmen, and Kenny. The track that follows is No Substitute by Chef. There are actually two episodes that the song references. The first of which is Weight Gain 4000, and the second is Tom's Rhinoplasty. Ironically enough, Primus did release an EP titled Rhinoplasty just 3 months before this album came out. The track that's next is Wake Up Wendy by Elton John. They actually brought in Elton John to voice himself on the show. The track that's after that is Horny by Moose T versus Hot and Juicy. The song is pretty funny and will never leave your head once you listen to it. It's also very on brand given the show's humor. What's next is Haboon Stomp by Devo. The song itself has Devo's signature style. And what's interesting is that Josh Freese has actually played drums for them. What's that is Love Gravy by Rick James and Ike Turner. What's funny is that this track references the pilot episode, Cartman Gets an Anal Probe. What comes next is Feel Like Making Love by Ned Gerblansky. Ned sings a cover of the song by Bad Company. His voice is very monotone, and the cover itself ended up being way funnier than the original version. What comes after that is The Rainbow by Ween. In August 2022, Primus, Ween, and the cast and crew of South Park put on a concert in Colorado in order to commemorate the show's 25th anniversary. What follows is Tonight is Right for Love with Meredith Baxter Burnley by Chef and Meatloaf. The song itself references the episode An Elephant Makes Love to a Pig. The next track is It's a Rockin' World by Joe Strummer featuring Flea, Tom Morello, DJ Bonebreak, Ben Montench, and Nick Hexum. It even has additional guitar from Brendan O'Brien and Ed Stasium. The second to last track is Mephisto and Kevin by Primus. Of course, they just had to include another Primus song, because their music is fucking awesome. The second to last track is Mentally Dull, Think Tank Remix. It was by Vitro, featuring the cast of South Park. Vitro was an industrial band from Essex, and their only album was released in '98. The US version was released on American Recordings. Personally, I think this is one of the funniest songs on the album, given the fact that it features a lot of samples from the show. However, the album has a hidden bonus track called Kyle's Mom's a Big Fat Bitch by Eric Cartman. They just had to go there because Cartman always said that Kyle's mom is a bitch. And I think this is the funniest song on the album. When researching this album, I read that it was number 16 on the Billboard 200, number 2 on the UK compilations, number 10 in New Zealand, number 45 in the Netherlands, and even number 1 in Australia. The album was certified platinum in America, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK. It even went triple platinum in Australia. Critical reception was mostly positive, but some empty-headed fucknugget AllMusic thought it was mediocre. Now for my thoughts. I think this is a great album. Back in the 90s and 2000s, there was this trend of animated shows having albums made, featuring various artists in order to promote the shows in question. Beavis and Butthead had one in '93, which was the year the show premiered. There are also a few made for The Simpsons. It would be interesting to see this trend come back, but I don't know if it will. Perhaps the most morbid thing about this album is that some of the musicians who performed on it have passed away over the years. The most recent being Ozzy Osbourne, who sadly passed away a year ago. On top of that, Puffy, later known as Diddy, is in prison. You can look that up because I'm not going to get into detail about it. All I can say is that prison is where he belongs. So there's sort of a black cloud looming over this album, albeit to a lesser extent compared to Lost Prophets. Overall, I highly recommend this album, especially the Extreme Edition. You should be able to find it easily on Discogs. And now's the part where I question you. Have you listened to Chef Aid, the South Park album? If so, what do you think about it? What's your favorite song from it? If you have this album, which version do you have? Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another review.